Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Noratika binti Ibrahim. My metric number 2180729. Today, I will explain about my research. My research is about strategy in reducing public speaking anxiety amongst language center students at the National Defence University of Malaysia. So, this research is about public speaking anxiety issue when delivering a speech among students of the language center in NUM. So, the larger concern that all students in the language center have is public speaking anxiety. So, the researchers will concentrate on public speaking anxiety among students of the language center and NUM in this research to find out what their problem in when they need to talk in front of group of people. And when students are asking to give a presentation, they sometimes get nervous, and this will affect their level of trust when particularly they go out to work. So, uh, in the future, go to work in the future. So, in this study, researchers will explain how to reducing student anxiety in public speaking and finding a proper approach to help them overcome. Okay, the next slide is what is public speaking. So, public speaking, as we know, is a formal presentation by a speaker to an audience, means large audience in front of people. So in other words, public speaking is about contact, how students express idea and emotion to others. So the next is problem statement. In the research, the problem statement that the researchers found is experience anxiety and fear, a lack of ability, various background and personality. So, uh, most students experience anxiety and fear when they have to talk publicly. So each student comes from various background and personality. So some of them may not have the necessary public speaking skill. Therefore, some students will not give their best in public speaking due to lack of ability and not having a proper way to conquer their fear in public speaking. So the next is research objective. In the research found that the research objective is what are the best effective strategy for anxiety in public speaking that have been utilized by the participant, and what is the level of public speaking anxiety of the participants. So the next slide is okay. The theoretical framework that is that to explain some of the concept word used in the analysis. When it comes to the motivation level, there are a number of theories used, which behavior theory, cognitive theory, the theory of constructivism, and the theory of the integrative motivation. As we can see at this theoretical framework, the researchers use interactive motivation theory and Pigeon cognitive theory. So, as seen in this slide, which is the theoretical structure, two hypotheses has been applied in this research. The reason of using the cognitive theory of Pigeon to use exposed therapy to alleviate the anxiety of the learner. So, and the integrative motivation theory of Turner to increase student internal favorable attitude and desire to achieve the goal of learning. So, this theoretical framework show our public speaking anxiety and effective strategy to reduce public speaking anxiety based on grounded integrative motivation. So, if students know how to adapt, especially if a very rich characters member of another linguistic community, effective strategy can let a student to be more confident in front of people, such as group of group of people, because students get more motivation, and integrative motivation led to greater success in public speaking. So, the next is about public Beijing collective theory in theory. Pitching cognitive theory, this may not endanger fear in public, but your self-esteem as your self-esteem will be compromised. Anxiety will cause fear to public speak to Anxiety will cause fear to speak in public. The constant pressure will be the constant pressure to be vigilant, anticipate problem, and misguided student will not be able to deal with possible threat. So, as we can see, it argued that our constant cognitive fragility determines what we do and feel in cognitive theory. For example, students believe that speaking in public will end their lives, so the result may be absent out of the fear when they speak in public. So even so, it is logical from public thinking that the students speak in forum to learn about trusting, socializing with other and expecting people criticism as constructive word for self conceptual framework. They show a simple the independence theory, only one which is effective strategy, this effective strategy, and that we use in reducing public speaking anxiety. In this framework, there are two dependence variables which are anxiety public speaking and anxiety in English language. The research investigate the correlation of the variable mentioned above. Okay, for methodology, the researchers use quantitative method and the researchers choose to use purposeful sampling and the questionnaire analysis by SSPS. So the population of this research native students of language center first year until third year. Okay, data analysis quantitative. The researchers use SPSS version 23. The data collected for this study is analyzed using the statistical package for social science version 23 to perform the statistical analysis. So, descriptive is about analysis limit generalizing to a particular group of individual observed by measuring the mean and frequency level of the data collected. The frequency effective strategy for anxiety in public speaking. We have another question by I take 3, the highest one. So, the effective strategy that can reduce public speaking anxiety if the researchers find out that students write down their experience in language learning theory that the highest effective strategy to reducing their public speaking anxiety. So the second one is use a list in which register their feeling. Get 2.62, and the third is pay attention to physical sign of stress. 2.39 is using the PSPS question adapted from other research that been conducted before. It is highly reliable alpha estimate than 90, but it focuses straight on public speaking anxiety. So in this session, the researchers want to know the level of anxiety of 90 respondents by using a formula that been given. So the personal report of public speaking anxiety (PRPSA) have 34 questions. So the researchers use the formula that given to know student in language center have what feeling they have in public speaking. So what level of public speaking anxiety? So as we can see here, anxiety frequency and percentage. These tables show the level of anxiety in public speaking overall for 90 respondents and get the higher level of anxiety among the nine respondents, which is 10%, indicate that the language center students have less higher level student. Meanwhile, the low level of anxiety is 30 with 30% respondent, more than 4 respondents that the high level. The ordinary level anxiety of the respondent is 68, which is 75.6%. So, in brief, based on the chart, the average half of students have a modest level of anxiety rather than high and low. most of the language center students have moderate level in their anxiety of public speaking. The next one is about implication of study. So there are four things that we must know. The implication of public speaking anxiety on students, the inability of students to demonstrate their skill with and lack of self-confidence. So the first is provide with opportunities to speak in real life situation. So the researchers find out that to reduce the public speaking anxiety, uh, the teacher or the institution of the university must provide the opportunities to speak in real life situations such as speaking corner. Okay, next is the dealing with the problem of public speaking anxiety. Students demonstrate different coping strategies techniques to be pursued. Is teacher curriculum learning environment. Important of encourage students to not judge experience of public speaking anxiety in a learning logbook, work area of weakness and strength and monitor their progress. So, uh, so the teacher must create more, providing more training to develop student confidence in their ability to stand up in public and talk to a group of people. So training that simply provides information about how to present may be insufficient, whereas model that borrow from psychological intervention which address social anxiety and fear of negative emotion will be useful. So the last one is policy at here, public speaking should be a highly rate component of the curriculum and it is one of the most useful soft skills required for employability. There are recommended increasing the number of public speaking courses in the curriculum, inviting guest lecturer who specialists in public speaking to motivate and encourage group discussion, their communication, and paying attention to group dynamic among students. Classification for future research. First, large sample size to ensure that the result will be more relevant. The next is the adopting a questionnaire to another research. The research must check whether or not the questionnaire is accurate. The next is interview lecturers at the language center to support the result of this study. The last one is in future study, student how to resolve their concern in public speaking or other public speaking research. That's all for me. Thank you.